Hey there, what is happening YouTube? Thanks for stopping back into the channel right here with the Rust Belt Ranch. So we've got a brand new project coming for you today. We're going to be messing with a little log splitter that I picked up from a friend a couple weeks back that has a junk motor in it. That's right, a 34-ton log splitter with a junk 9-horse Subaru motor. I started it up and it went knock, 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 knock.
What the heck?
It was pretty bad. So we've got a brand new motor to put into it today. We're going to be swapping in one of the brand new Harbor Freight Predator 420 horizontal shaft engines. Not only that, one with an electric start as well. Putting that little bougie bit right into this little log splitter. So let's check out and see what we got to work with today. So here's the good old log splitter. This would be one that you would have picked up from Tractor Supply, a professional power 34-ton DR power equipment log splitter. Gonna be running the Subaru 9-horse EX27 motor. This log splitter I think is about 8 or 9 years old. I think right around 8 years old. And it's been, we'll say it's been put through its paces. This is the model that is able to sit both horizontally, unlock the pin, and it can flip up to be able to work vertically as well. Like I said, picked it up from a friend of mine. She said, hey, had a buddy borrow it, and motor wasn't really running right. So I brought it back over here, found out motor's pretty much toast, knocking to beat hell. So we're going to be swapping that old thing out today for this right here. The brand new Predator 420cc horizontal gas engine. Picked this one up from Harbor Freight this last week. Got a little coupon on it for sale. Picked it up for just under 300 bones, which I think is an absolute steal when you're talking about the motors that go for this sizing. I was looking for some motors to be able to replace this one, and there was very few of them that would actually work for this application. First off, I was looking for the exact fit. The Subaru motor is not made anymore, the EX27. If you do find them, they are lightly used from some dealer that's got it sitting on a back shelf and they want like $700 for them. Not doing that one. And then the next replacement style engine that a lot of people swap onto these would be the Honda. I believe those are the 9.5 horse Honda motors. Those ones run right around $670 to $700. Again, kind of insane for one of those motors. Not really looking to do it. Honda's a great motor, don't get me wrong or anything like that, but again, I only paid the lady $150 for this log splitter because it had a junk motor. So I ended up going with the Predator 421 from Harbor Freight. We are looking at right about the same shaft size, just about the same length, single 1/4-inch pin key. And so I'm hoping this thing swaps right onto it. And the cool thing about this, it's electric start. So we're going to be hooking it up and having an electric start option to this. I think it's going to be great. First things first, we got to drag this one over to the workbench area where we got tools, and we're going to get this motor pulled off of the frame, get the hydraulic pump pulled off the back side of it so we can start seeing what we've got to work with the good old Predator engine. is the beast up on the little bench here. We've got before use, add gas and stabilizer, add engine oil. Already checked the engine oil. This thing only has a small amount in it from shipping. Obviously, they probably ran the motor, so they just dumped out whatever oil was in there for break-in period. So we do have to add oil. In the instructions, it says to add 5W30 for conditions at or below 35 degrees or above, to use 10W30 for general purpose. So we're gonna go get us some 10W30, and the full capacity on this motor says it takes 1.16 quarts of oil. So do add oil before starting, definitely. Here's our sweet little starter. Got the starter to start everything up. The 1-inch standard shaft, I believe it's 3 1/4 inches long. So we're gonna have to just kind of adjust the depth slightly on our little adapter unit and get it tightened onto here as well. So I'm gonna do those quick little things, fill that up, and then we'll get this thing bolted over onto the unit. It does have a nice little universal slot on the one side and on the other side as well. So you can have this one bolted in, and it's gonna adapt to pretty much any flange that you wanna put this motor onto. Grug, 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 fill her up with oil. And it looks as though this thing is going to take just over the full 1 quart of oil. Ended up getting some STB full synthetic 10W30 to add into here. So we'll check this after adding our full quart, and hopefully that's all it'll take. Alright, let's kind of get it preliminarily set into place here and see what's in the way and what's not in the way. And I can immediately see that our muffler is a little bit wider than our last one was. So looks like I'm gonna have to do a little modifying and probably take out some of the steel here to be able to get our muffler into place, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. This thing is a huge I-beam. I don't think we're gonna have any problem just taking out half of a chunk, about 1 inch into here, get this cut into and cut across so our muffler can fit back into place. Now, sorry guys, where that one cut off, unfortunately I ran into a whole bunch of little hurdles and I couldn't find a fitting. I was super frustrated. It was a Sunday and I just wanted to sit down and drink a beer. So that's what I did. But now I'm back on a Monday after work, picked up the right fittings, got this thing together the rest of the way. Let's see how it turned out, just to show you guys exactly what I did. I just wanted to take a quick second today to thank one of the sponsors of the channel, and that is from Techsmart Industries with their new foot-operated soap dispensing unit. Now, this isn't just for soap, but this is for the whole shop kind of keep clean appearance. We've got the foot-operated pedal right here where we're going to be dispensing our hand soap. What's really cool about their products is they like to use the company called Full Bore, which is a really good hand cleaning company. I've used a couple of the products that they sent with it, and I absolutely love how it cleans grease and grime and everything off my hands and arms. It does a really great job. But this whole dispensary unit is absolutely great. Here in the side, it's able to put my vinyl gloves. We've got some hand drying towels, some microfiber cloths, as well as a little unit with the ends to be able to put our paper towels in over here. Obviously, they kind of customized this one up for some Rust Belt mechanic swag, and I really like that one. I will leave the description to this one down below if you guys are interested. I definitely enjoy this one. It works really great in the shop atmosphere, especially right here next to the restroom, and gets things cleaner faster. So on this side, motor is all fully mounted down onto the frame, worked perfect, and you can see the section that we cut out of the I-beam where the muffler was, just to be able to fit that there. all fine and dandy. One other thing I had to do was the ignition box portion of this. It sat down farther, but there wasn't any room between the tank and that. All I did was move it up one set of screw holes, so it's just held on by one of the 8mm nuts here on the side. And it's held very nice and sturdy. Now let's look where I hooked up the battery. Now for a battery, what I did was I picked up one of these little motorcycle or stop-start batteries, whatever works for you. They recommend a 300 cold cranking amp, like a 23 amp hour, whatever. I ended up, this is like 180 or a 200 cold cranking amp stop-start battery that I had sitting around from an old thing. It just barely tested well, but it'll work just fine for this application, and it's sitting here on top of the reservoir tank. Now I needed to be able to hold it still and hold it steady so all the vibrations wouldn't be, you know, knocking stuff all around. And I needed some kind of a little strap unit, and I really couldn't find anything at Home Depot or Ace or anything, so I ended up going over to the pet section and getting a green large dog collar, snip it in half, and bolting it into there and strapping the battery in so it's all nice and tidy. Then I picked up a couple of these 4-gauge 19-inch battery cables from AutoZone. Got the ground one right here going down and hooked right to where the pump goes into the motor right there, so it's touching into the motor. Great ground point on that one. And then the positive goes from here down under to the starter solenoid right on the side of the starter. So we've got everything hooked up there. The only other thing that I had to change was this fitting here. Before, this hose just came straight off of the reservoir fitting, and obviously you can see the snout of this engine sits back about 1.5 inches further back, and we had some issues with clearance, obviously, if it would have gone straight through. So I went over to Parker's and picked up a 90-degree fitting for this one to get the hose out of the way, and we are all good and clear, good to go. Well, I think we are just about ready to start up this Frankenstein machine, guys. Let's get her rolling. Now, I haven't put any fuel into this yet. I want to start it and crank it over a little bit to get some of the oil flowing through, just to make sure we don't have any kind of a, you know, a hard start or anything on this one. Don't know how long it's been without oil in it or anything for shipping, so we'll go ahead and just crank it over a little bit. I think that's pretty good on that one. That actually cranks over very well with that battery. I'm super impressed by that one. All right, let's get some gas into this and get it just over outside, and let's get this thing running, see how quick she'll start up. We got a little bit of fuel in her. We've got, let's see, the fuel on to the right. Give her a little bit of choke. Throttle her up. Power. Oh, so close. There's a little bit of choke here. Victorious! Victory! Victory! All right, boys and girls, that's about all I've got for you today here on the Rust Belt Ranch. This has been an awesome project, getting this Predator motor all swapped onto our Frankenstein wood splitter. Need to get this thing into big time, full-blown use. It's gonna be a great helping hand here on the property. If you guys have any other ideas on projects or anything for this thing, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. building the channel right along. So if you would, please help the channel along. Share with some friends. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure to leave that thumbs up and turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I come out with cool, awesome content just like this stuff here today. Thank you guys. I appreciate everyone tuning in. As always, go grab a tool and get wrenching.